Alright guys, we are going to review fixed expenses and variable expenses. Let's look at this page first and read the directions. Follow along with me while I read. It says, cut off the bottom part of this page and sort the fixed expense examples from the variable expense examples. Glue the examples under the correct columns. So you are going to cut these out, and I don't want you to glue anything yet, but I want you to pause the video. I want you to cut them out and put them where you think they would go. Okay, now that you have them all cut out and hopefully placed on a rectangle under one of the columns, let's go through one by one and see what we got. So, car payment. In my head, I should be thinking, is this something that is fixed and it's going to happen every month? Yes, it is a fixed expense. So if you have car payment written here, you are correct. And we can go back and glue at the end. I'm just going to write car. Okay, we're done with that one. Alright, let's look at loan payment. Now, a loan is something you take out from the bank to pay for something, and you have to pay it back every month. So is that a fixed expense or a variable expense? It would be a fixed expense because you are going to pay it every month until it is paid off. Okay? Alright, let's look at the electric bill. Now, we talked about an electric bill being a fixed expense because it happens every month, but it's actually a variable expense because it changes so much every month that it's not really fixed. It changes. So it could be really high one month or really low one month. So the electric bill should be in the variable expense column. If you need to move it over, that's okay. Alright, let's look at savings. Well, savings is not something you have to do every month. It's a choice. If it's a choice to do it, that makes it a variable expense. I see another one on here that is also a choice. Entertainment. Going to the movies, going to bowl, anything like that would be entertainment, and that is variable. Okay, let's look at your insurance. Insurance is something that you pay every month, so that is going to make it a fixed expense. Okay, so what was another one that we talked about could be variable that you choose to spend your money on? Do you see one? What about vacation? Okay, now I see another one that is a very fixed expense, and two of them, they kind of go together. Rent would be at if you live in an apartment or if you're renting a house, you pay every month. And mortgage, you pay every month. And that is your house payment. That's fixed because it does not change. Okay? Now, the last one that goes on fixed expenses is a gas bill. Mostly bills are going to be fixed expenses because you know that they're coming, but except for this one, the electric bill, because it changes so much. Alright, and now we have left groceries is also a variable expense because you may be going to the grocery store for different reasons, and you may need different things every time you go. Now this one, gasoline, is different from a gas bill because gasoline could be maybe something you use more of to go on the vacation or to go see a family member who lives out of town. So go ahead and pause the video, and if you had to move some around, that's okay, but go ahead and pause the video and glue them on to their correct spot. Okay, now that you have them glued on, I want to give you, just as fast as you can, cut that out right around here, and glue it in. Mine kind of went out of the box. And glue it into your science spiral. You can pause the video for just a minute, but do it as quickly as you can. Okay, so now we're going to apply this to a real life situation with Brianna's bunny. I'm going to read the problem, and we are going to go through this together, okay? So right now I'm looking at this part right here. Alright, so I want your finger to follow along with me. Brianna is getting a pet bunny. Her grandparents loaned Brianna $125. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to circle that because that was a loan, and I'm going to also underline the word loan. She bought a bunny cage, a food bowl, and a water bottle. To pay back this loan, Brianna will pay her grandparents $10 out of her allowance each month. Each is one of those kind of key words. Brianna's bunny also needs other items to live. Help Brianna find out which expenses, so here we go, we're looking for expenses for bunny owner are fixed, that are going to happen every month or every week, and which are going to be changing. So we're going to sort her list from the columns below. Okay, so here's her list. We have rabbit food. Well, I think that rabbit probably is going to have to eat every week or every month. So we're going to check that off, and we're going to put it over here under fixed expenses. Food. Okay. Do you see any other ones that could be a fixed expense? Okay, what about her veterinary bills? If she takes the dog to the vet, that is going to be a fixed expense. Okay, another fixed expense could be the cage. She is going to have to buy the dog a cage. She is also going to have to buy the dog bedding, something to sleep in. Okay, the food bowl is a variable expense. The water bottle is a variable expense. And the treats are also variable because she doesn't really have to give her dog a treat every time. I mean, her rabbit a treat every time, but she may want to sometimes. Okay, so let's look at number 1. It says Brianna took her bunny to the vet 3 times. I'm going to write the 3. She spent $34.89 at one visit, $55.05 for another visit, and $67 at the last visit. how much did she spend on vet bills? Okay, so I want you to pause the video, line up your decimals, and figure out the total for how much Brianna spent on vet bills. Okay, she spent $156.94. It says, were the vet visits fixed or variable? How do you know? Well, since she takes him 3 times pretty much every month, that makes it a fixed expense, even though the price changes just a little bit. And how do you know? We know because it happens often. And it's a regular fixed expense. Okay. Number 2. Brianna's bunny cage cost $105. His water bottle cost $11.99, and his food bowl cost $7.50. How much did Brianna spend on these items? Okay, so pause the video and add those up. Make sure you line up your decimals. Okay, you should get $124.49. All right. How long will it take for Brianna to pay back her grandparents? Ooh, okay, so let's go back to our story. And it tells me over here that she owes them $125, and she's going to pay them back $10 each month. Okay, so how long will it take her? Well, let's do some skip counting here and some model drawing. So if you need to turn your paper over for this, you can. Go ahead and flip it to the back, and let's model draw what is happening. Okay, so she owes $125. That is my total. Okay, now we can skip count by tens until we get to 125, or there's a faster way that we've been working on where we can do division. So let's do that. 125 divided by 10. Does McDonald's sell burgers? Okay, does 10 go into 1? No. How many times does 10 go into 12? 1 time. We're going to multiply. 1 times 10 is 10. Now we're going to subtract. 12 minus 10 is 2. Bring down your 5. 10 goes in, and then you start over. Okay, 10 goes into 25 2 times. 2 times 10 is 20. Subtract that, and we have 5 left over. So we have 12 with a remainder of 5. Okay, so let's go back. If every month she pays, we have 12 remainder of 5. Sorry, you cannot read that very well. Let me rewrite that. 12 with a remainder of 5. So if she stops after the 12th month, is she going to pay her grandparents all the way back? No. She's going to have 1 month left where she's going to only owe $5. So how many months is it going to take? $13. 13 months. I'm sorry. Okay. Very good. All right. It says, are these items fixed or variable expenses? How do you know? Well, instead of writing, let's just discuss. We know the way that we sorted them was based off of things that they needed and were expected and things that could change. So we know because we have had experience with these vocabulary words for fixed expenses and variable expenses. All right, I am very proud of you. Make sure your name is on this paper and you can turn it in.